Well, Dior is facing criticism for their new line inspired by Mexican heritage. Many people are saying that Jennifer Lawrence should not be the face of the campaign and are accusing Dior of cultural appropriation. One person writes, "This is a great example of how idiotic marketing teams can turn great social movements into bad marketing." But we do want to point out that there are many Mexican women featured modeling the clothes. Many of the photos were shot in Mexico by Mexican female photographers, and both former First Lady Michelle Obama and Solange have worn pieces from this collection. So is that also cultural appropriation?
This is, I don't know, this is crazy to me. You know what I mean? She's the face of Dior. Of course she's going to be in the magazine. They did acknowledge the Mexican heritage. That's all it is. It's not a social movement. It's a line inspired by Mexican heritage. They filmed it in Mexico. They had Mexican female photographers. They did everything correct here. They're not going to get rid of the face of Dior just because they're reaching out to a different audience for campaign.
I totally disagree.
Me too.
Really?
I totally disagree. Go first.
Because it's celebrating the culture of female Mexican equestrians. If you're not a female Mexican equestrian, then that's not the way you celebrate the culture. I'm sorry. If you're going to celebrate the culture of black female TV personalities, as much as I love Sam's beautiful face, she better not be the face of it.
But she's the face of Dior.
But she can be the face of Dior. But that doesn't mean that she has to be the face of this campaign.
This is
a social movement.
They use the women. They use Mexican women.
But why are they behind the scenes? I think the problem is they're sick of being behind the scenes.
Okay, but Erica, I don't want to sacrifice the good that's coming out of this. I mean, this is a celebration of Mexican culture, and if this happens, what they're going to say is if it's between doing another basic photo shoot with basic fashion or possibly dealing with the social backlash by trying to celebrate, I think that we could lose advertising.
I see where you're coming. I see where you're coming.
We're not having this conversation with Michelle Obama when she wore it.
That's not the same.
We'd be doing the same thing.
She just happened to be. Sorry.
I need to get in here.
Yes, please.
Okay. Listen, it's one thing if you're wearing the clothes. It's another thing if you're the face of a campaign that specifically, this is how they say it. This is in their campaign. We are celebrating the culture of female Mexican equestrians. And then you're looking at Jennifer Lawrence. That is not okay. You need to be celebrating. And the photo shoot where Jennifer Lawrence was actually in California. I know that other photo shoots were in Mexico that had to do with this capsule collection. But Jennifer Lawrence herself, when they were talking about celebrating Mexican women, they were in California. So I think that the backlash is real. I think the backlash is justified. I think they should have had a real, gorgeous, whatever you want to say, female Mexican equestrian if you want to keep it modeling.
Can you guys name a female Mexican equestrian?
No, that's the point,
her.
But Erica, they're trying to sell magazines right now.
I'm terribly sorry. That is the entire point. We don't need a vehicle to drive us through and make what used to be not okay in mainstream. That's the same exact thing that I say about the Kardashians all the time. It's always ghetto until the Kardashians do it, and then it's mainstream.
I don't agree.
No one needs another vehicle to drive their culture or their motivation to the mainstream.
Erica, what I will say this, I know we got to move, but I will just say this: Erica, they're trying to sell magazines.
Yeah, but
they have.
Don't use this cause.
I understand.
Don't use it.
Okay, but then now we're not going to celebrate it at all.
Right.
What I'm saying is they have 1.2 seconds. Erica, let me finish. They have 1.2 seconds to get you to stop at the grocery store and glance over and buy that magazine.
Then don't use this
They are a business trying to get you to stop. They use famous people because people stop and buy stuff with famous people on it. That's all it is.
There's not one famous female Mexican woman that they could have used as the face of that campaign.
But she's not. But then we'd be saying, well, she's not an equestrian.
Well, at least she's from Mexico. At least they're shooting in Mexico City.
But they did do that.
Some of it they did, not the one with Jennifer Lawrence.
I think
no one would be saying she's not an equestrian now.
They're trying to use famous people to sell things. That's why Rob Gronkowski sells Frito
no
Flakes.
Mexican women that they could use to celebrate Mexican culture.
I'm not saying
that is B to the S, and you know it.
I agree. We're gonna
next time they're just not going to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? That's not okay for next time. They're not going to do it.
But
that's not good enough, and that's such a step backwards.
But that's what
I'm
they're going to do.
sick of hearing that. Okay, well then, if you're not going to do it our way, then we're just not going to do it at all. You just won't get recognized at all. No, you deserve to be recognized. Why? Because the celebration deserves to be celebrated.
But they're making
that means
steps
that representation.
Forward. They are taking steps forward.
forward.
Yes,
if
it
you
is. They're
have a
using
white
it in
girl
Mexico.
We're talking
celebrating
about it.
Mexican culture.
One at a time. Do you understand though that
I totally understand, but they're making steps. They're taking steps forward. They're using Mexican women. They're using Mexican photographers. That is not a step backwards.
But they don't
That's
have
a step
but
forward.
the face of the campaign.
Okay, everything can't be perfect the first time. But if I'm the owner, well, I don't understand why you're laughing.
I'm not laughing. I'm actually trying to keep myself from crying because it's very emotional for me. Because I'm really sick of having people represent things that are completely 100% organically and authentically to who I am and who my culture is and the way that we should be looked at and represented. Now you have Mexican American women being told that the only vehicle and the only time that we're going to stop down and acknowledge you is when we have a white girl as the face of their campaign. That is not okay. It's not a step forward. It's actually several steps backwards. And in my opinion, it is a slap in the face and it needs to be corrected.
See, Erica, I would say that the fact that we're having this conversation in 2018 is a step forward. We would not have been having this conversation in 2018. This was not a thing in 2010. We are moving forward, and society moves forward at a glacier's pace. And I know it doesn't seem, but we are talking about these things right now on national TV, Erica. I see that as a step forward because no matter how you fall on this issue, we're talking about it. And this was not a thing a couple years ago. And when my kids are grown, when your kids are grown, this will not be a thing. But we have to start somewhere. And if we do have advertising companies that are like, we got our butts kicked for trying this last time, we're just going to go with an Icelandic shoot with someone. Well, it's going to happen, Erica. They don't want to take the Bob.
Final thought,
if
Erica.
you're
Final
thinking
thought.
about it, that means that you know that representation matters. So why breadcrumb your way through a campaign?
Because that's the way human
Nobody
beings work.
deserves
I wish it wasn't, Erica. I'm a black man.
Complacency is not a good thing. Complacency is not a good thing. I'm proud of all the people that have spoken up. I'm proud of you, Erica, for speaking up because hopefully they'll think differently next time. Not shy away from it. Do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.